What initially turned me on to this place is I was driving around for work, and it's probably back in 2012 or 2013. And I was driving down Hypoluxo, and I turn over here and I look, and I see all these beautiful pink blushed mangoes. Now these two trees right here that are producing get the most sunshine in the whole grove. And so they really do produce the best, nicest, most beautiful mangoes.
Hello everybody, welcome to Fruitful Trees. Today we are on a field trip at a place called Hatcher Farms. Now this place has been around a long time. They got some amazing mangoes. One particular mango called the Hatcher mango. And this is a really cool old grove here in West Palm Beach. Unfortunately, it's the last year it's going to be around. We're going to hear today from the worker there about what's going on with the land. But I was very happy to get there and film this before they closed. And this has been a staple of Mango Grove in West Palm Beach, Florida for many, many years. And we're going to taste some of their mangoes today, the Hatcher mango. Check it out. Hello everybody, welcome to Fruitful Trees. Here we are today at this amazing mango farm called Hatcher Mango Farm. And this is Seth. And Seth is currently running the place here. We're going to talk to Seth. So Seth, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much. Great to have you, Paul.
Seth, tell us, how old is this farm?
The lady who lives here, her grandfather initially came up with Hatcher mango in the 1940s.
So was that Mr. Hatcher?
Yeah, that was great-granddaddy, John Hatcher. He was a citrus guy. Him and his buddies were all citrus grafting guys, and they had a bet who can make the best mango. And so Mr. Zill created the Zill mango, and Mr. Hatcher created the Hatcher. And so his friends were like, man, this mango's so good, you better patent this mango.
Okay.
And so that's what they ended up doing, and it became their Hatcher mango. Hatcher mango is a graft of a Hayden and a Brooks mango. Hayden's probably the most popular mango in South Florida. Brooks is an Australian mango. I've never tried a Brooks, but the Brooks has a very large size and a small seed. And the Hayden has an amazing flavor. So you combine the two, then you get a really big mango with a small seed and amazing flavor. And
okay, so your location, how big's the property here?
We have about 3.5 acres. We're just a stone's throw away from 95 off Hypoluxo on the west side, and we have about 120 trees. I've tried to count numerous times. It's circa 120. And we have mostly, the majority of them are Hatchers. We do have a substantial amount of Haydens. And then because the association with Mr. Zill, we have 6 or 7 Zill trees. In fact, the biggest tree on the property is a Zill tree. I think it gets the most sunlight. And then we have a turpentine mango, which I just, we don't really fool with that too much. And then we have a few one-offs. We have one Keat tree, K-E-I-T-T, and then we also have what we call an improved Hayden. And I don't, its mommy was a Hayden and its daddy is unknown. And so, but here, that's what we call them, improved Haydens. I believe there's maybe 1 or 2 left on the trees, and those are the mangoes we have here. Currently, at this stage in the season, we just have Hatchers left. And it's going to be, 3 more weeks of Hatchers. And right now, from, that it's this point in the season to the end, they are absolutely amazing. They don't get any better than this. They've been on the trees for a long time. A lot of them are starting to get this beautiful blush. We're going to be tasting some here shortly.
Wonderful, and I see some mangoes right near your head. Are those them?
Yeah, these are Hatcher mangoes. These are still very green. They're probably going to be ripe in a few weeks.
So these trees are about 80 years old, from the 40s, huh?
No, the family has, the grove has gone in sections, I'd say. If you look over here, two trees down, those are the trees that are really old. And now they have been beaten back by hurricanes over the decades. 2004, there were 3 hurricanes that came through here and just wrecked the place. But the grove has grown back. And so they've been beaten back, but they always, they have come back nicely. And those are the really old ones. I'd say the ones right here are about 25, 30 years old. old, and you know, a lot of them produce amazing mangoes. And so, you know, the grove has different sections. It has been planted. It's always been added to. The family here has managed to cram a mango tree in every last nook and cranny of this place.
Well, I'm going to talk about the grove and the way it's set up and everything, but I do notice you said Mr. Hatcher was friends with Mr. Zill.
Yeah.
And it's interesting, everybody, because directly diagonally across the street, you see the top of a gas station over there. And we'll go out later because we're on a little ridge. We're right off a road called High Ridge Road and Hypoluxo. But at the end of High Ridge Road, right there across the street from the gas station, is Mr. Zill's old house. So they actually live diagonal from each other. So that's really pretty cool. So tell us what your job here is, Seth, and how you associate with this place.
So back in 2014, I had a friend of a friend introduced me to the Hatchers. My friend knew I loved mangoes, and so he's like, man, well, you got to meet this guy. He's got you know, a mango farm. And so I came down here and I started in the summer of 2014. I started working here, and you know, I worked that summer. I started at picking mangoes, and I started to make jam for the stand here. I have been subsequently every year since. I haven't been, you know, I worked the summer of 2014, and then for a number of years I would just come here and get mangoes and make jam to sell at the stand. And then in the summer of 21, I got a call. The owner needed someone to run the place, and I was the only person who knew when the mangoes would get ripe, which ones to pick, which ones had some redeeming qualities, you know. And so she entrusted the running and care of this place to me. And so I'm a one-man show. I run this whole place. I pick the mangoes, I sell them, I sort them, I do everything. I keep it as, you know, neat and tidy as possible. You know, I am one person running a 3.5 acre, 120 tree mango farm.
Wow, that's very impressive, Seth. Now, I know every year they've been having these amazing mangoes, and some people have purchased a Hatcher tree, even though it's a tree that is licensed, or what you said is
patented.
Patented. Some people have the tree, but this is the major place and the main place to purchase the trees and the seed and the mango.
Well,
right.
We used to sell trees.
I remember that's when I came here, you had trees.
Yeah, we used to sell trees. Subsequently, since I've taken over, I haven't had anything to do with the trees.
Okay.
We haven't been selling trees. We used to have a local company make them for us. They all got a fungus, and so they offed them all. They got rid of them all. And so it just took too many years to get the stock up and going again.
Sure.
And so
okay.
that's the reason we currently don't, much to the chagrin of many of our customers.
Okay. Well, there are some people out there that have the tree. Now,
a substantial amount of people have a Hatcher tree in their backyard.
Now, the area you're in, and we're going to take a look around this amazing grove. I got a lot of questions about the grove.
Sure.
But the area we're in, we're on a hill and on a ridge.
This is an old sand dune.
It's a sand dune.
From millions of years ago. That's why it's called High Ridge. It has, you know, this Florida sugar sand.
Yeah, it's probably the best location you're in to grow mangoes.
Yeah, it is a great location. The only downfall is that you know, we're so high up, we lose a lot of mangoes to windstorms. You know, those nasty Florida summertime, spring storms come in, and we lost a substantial amount of blooms and mangoes this year. Last year, there was the windstorms were so bad in the spring, we had a double bloom where it blew most of the blooms off. Trees had to bloom again, so we had essentially 2 crops, but you never get as much with a double bloom as you would if it was a single bloom.
Sure. Now, I have heard the Hatcher mango is quite susceptible to bacterial black spot. Is that a rumor, or has that been true?
No, that definitely is true. We have a number of trees that the mangoes just don't taste good. They have a substantial, they just don't get to what the Hatcher should be. I kind of let those trees do their thing, and I focus on the ones that are producing good quality mangoes that I can sell, that people will be happy with, and have come to expect organic, tree ripe, fresh and local, freshly picked just for you Hatcher mango.
At the time, did Mr. Zill and Mr. Hatcher come to an agreement of which mango won?
Oh, you know what? I don't know. You know, maybe we'd have to ask Katie that. Katie Hatcher. Maybe she would know.
Okay, is she the granddaughter?
Yeah, she's a granddaughter.
Okay.
Yeah, it was her grandfather.
Well, show us a little around the grove, because we're seeing here everything's planting in rows. Do you know the distance between the trees and the rows in between?
You know, I'm not sure. You know, the family planned it all out. You know, all this happened a long time before I ever came around. But they all seem to be, you know, planted nicely where, you know, there's a substantial amount of, you know, tree cover where it's, you know, even in these hot Florida summer days where it feels like 110, I'm not roasting the whole time here. You know, but you know, they seem to be pretty consistent. I would guesstimate it's about, you know, 30 feet, somewhere around there in between all the trees. And, you know, they seem to be pretty consistent. And, you know, this is one of the, you know, the beautiful views. You know, it goes, you know, very symmetrical all the way down, you know, very easy. Once you get the lay of the land, you know what trees are where, what sections of the farm produce what. And so right now we're standing in the middle of, you know, a younger section of Hatcher trees. You know, if you turn around, you know, you know, this is what every human being loves, low-hanging fruit. We have a bunch of Hatchers here that are really green still. You know, no signs of ripening, so we're going to leave them on the trees, let them do their thing.
What color do they turn when they're ripened?
So this one right here has, you know, you see how it's got a little bit of yellow on it?
Yeah.
That's what, you know, that's what we're looking for. This one has a big old spot, so I'm not as jacked up about it, you know. And if you come a little closer, you can look and you see how it's starting to get some blush where it gets the sunshine. And then those white spots on there, that's a characteristic of a Hayden. And, you know, for me, the more white spots it has on there, I believe the sweeter, better the Hatcher or the Hayden is going to be. And, you know, I don't know if I can...
Oh, we got any
there we go.
Catch.
So we have, you know, this would be a nice, see how easy it came off the tree. This is a nice freshly picked Hatcher. Has what we call a sugar spot. It's just where it gets roasted by the sun a lot. You know, you let it ripen, you cut that out. If it's really green and it has one of these spots, the spot's going to grow as it ripens, and it's just not going to be a good mango. If it's substantially ripe and it has one of these, it's going to be okay. You can just cut it out and you're not going to lose that much. You know, 5% of it's going to be bad. The other 95 is going to be pure gold.
Sure.
You know, this one is still, you know, the last place the green disappears on the Hatchers is the bottom. And so, you know, I would let this sit for a day or two, and it's going to yellow up completely, and you know, it's going to be an amazing mango.
It's a big mango.
Yeah. So, well, this is small for a Hatcher.
Yeah.
This is a pound and a half. I'm averaging this time of the season, 1.75 pounds to 2 pounds. Yesterday I picked one and mailed it to my mom for her birthday, a 3-pounder.
Wow.
So it was really, really substantial, but those are outliers. You know, out of every 1,000 mangoes, you're going to have 1 3-pounder. Last season, the tree, two trees down, the substantial one there, had a 4-pound mango on it.
Wow.
I had somebody helping me out. It was so big it wouldn't fit in the picker basket. So I had him take the picker pole and just whack the stem, and then I was there and caught it. And you know, it was quite the novelty. It was, you know, 4-pound mango. It was absolutely massive. Wow. Yeah, but that's the biggest one I've seen. I weighed it. I think it was like 4.1. You know, 4 pounds, 1.6 ounces.
Sure. Well, everybody, I want to show you. This is the old way that they did mango groves, and this one is planted very well planned and successfully, where it looks like, even though there's shade, a lot of shade here under the trees, each tree looks like it's getting more than enough sunlight because they're planted wide enough apart. Now, the new way to do it is to plant closer and keep the trees smaller, and that's what a lot of the newer groves out there are doing today. And both methods are successful, but with all the new varieties, people want to plant more trees, so they try to keep the trees smaller and closer together and get more different varieties of trees. But this is the way they were typically done in the 50s and 60s and 70s with the Hatchers and the Haydens and the Kents. And this is a great example. If you want your trees to get this tall, and these are not tall by any means, if you don't do anything to these trees, they'll grow even taller. But if you want them to get this tall, you got to plant them farther apart, 25, 30 feet apart. So that's a great example. So tell me a little bit about the maintenance of the trees here. Over the years, have they pruned them?
Yeah, they have had, they have pruned the trees over the years. Back in, like I was saying before, back in 2004, there were 3 hurricanes back to back, really wrecked this place. It was a mango by phone call or email only. You had to sign up for a list. And Marilyn Hatcher would take the golf cart down to the gate and sell you what she had for you. Back in 2014, it took 10 years for the grove to recover, where they had enough so that it was commercially available to the public to sell them. And we've had a stand here ever subsequently. The trees are so old. I'm not an arborist. I really don't know. I'm an expert in recognizing what mangoes to pick, which ones have some redeeming values, and getting them off the trees without them dropping and bruising or smashing into the ground. That ripe mango as I'm picking it. The trees just kind of do their thing. We use, it's been a few years, but we have, the only thing we have done is some organic fertilizer. We put them around the bottom of the trees, kind of help, boost production. But we haven't done that in a number of years. Unfortunately, this is the last year for the farm. The family that owns it is going to be selling. And so, I was just kind of letting the trees do their thing and producing as much as possible to have the best last season we could.
Well, wait, I want to talk more about the trees, but what do you mean it's the last year and they're going to be selling?
So the lady who lives here, her mother, passed away. Her father predeceased her, and they put all their assets in a trust so that the assets in the trust had to be liquidated for fair market value. So the lady that currently lives here is part owner. She has to sell. Her hands are tied. She would like to keep the place, but unfortunately, the way her parents set up the trust and the will, that's what's going down.
Wow.
So this will be the last year that you can be able to get Hatcher mangoes here. I don't know what's going to happen to it moving forward, but I can only speak for right now.
Well, hopefully a mango lover will buy it and want to preserve it and keep it.
Absolutely.
So more about the trees. Do you know over the years if they sprayed anything on the trees to keep the bacterial black spot under control? Or?
No. Well, we've worked really hard to be organic, and so we haven't sprayed anything. We had an ant problem, and we put food grade diatomaceous earth around the base of the trees. We use organic fertilizer. The fungus hasn't been a problem up until about the last 4 or 5 years. It started creeping in. I can show you some of the trees that have the black spot, and you can try the mangoes. They don't turn this beautiful dark yellow. They don't get the beautiful blush on them. They're kind of light yellow and green on the bottom, and they don't really change much from that. They also have a lot of, just these big black spots. When you open them up, the flesh is like a yellowish, light yellow, some pink, but not that deep orange of a fully ripe, amazing Hatcher should have. And so, I don't mess with those. I just kind of let them do their thing, and and we have a substantial amount where for the volume of business that I'm doing, a few trees with some fungus isn't really going to affect us all that much.
Is there any irrigation on the trees they're using? Any water?
This place used to have a mechanic, 3 pickers, and there's maybe 8 or 9 people working here all together. But those days are gone. And if you look, you see the hose here in the ground. There is an irrigation system, but it hasn't been working in a number of years.
Okay.
You'll see it's really, they built it up so that it would go down to what we call the lower 40s. If you look all the way down, you can see where there's a substantial amount of sunshine. Those are newer trees that really needed the water, but the owner, the mechanic who set him up, he was an older gentleman. He was an advanced senior citizen, and he hasn't been back to the Grove in a number of years.
Well, let's take a walk down to the sunny side and check it out. So we're in the newer trees, then we'll get some of the older trees, and then the newer trees again, right?
So we have, a nice hatcher here. This one hasn't produced all that much this year. There's a decent amount on there, but you can see this guy right here is starting to throw off some yellow. You see how there's two of them right there. That would be a good one to pick. That's throwing off some signs like, I will ripen properly. It's got you see the little black spot on it. That's where two mangoes rub together.
Yep.
It's a sign of the twins. Some people are turned off by it. It's really just skin deep. It's not, not going to affect the taste or anything.
Now, if somebody, as we're walking, I'll ask you, if somebody contacted you and let's say they wanted some budwood, is this something that you would do for them, or this is something you really don't do?
I can make it happen.
Okay.
I haven't really been contacted before. There was one gentleman one year, kind of a friend of the stand. This lady's husband, he wanted some, and so we have a big old pile of it down there. I don't know what the state of it is as far as how it's been, but if you look over at this tree here, we have, we'll have dead parts come off, and I just kind of throw them around the base just to kind of keep them out of the way. Same thing with the mangoes that the squirrels and lizards get. We got, like, this is an example.
Sure. Well, this is such an amazing and unique location. We're right off I-95, and we're on kind of a hill. And I'll go on the edge of the hill and show you all how it looks there in a moment when we get to the stand. But let's just walk through here, and I'll give you guys a scenery of this as we're walking. And this is one of the last mango groves in West Palm Beach, Florida, old like this. And it's a shame that it has to be sold. All the trees are so symmetrical and looking great. Now, over the years, has anyone planted any newer variety trees other than just the typical?
Well, because it's the Hatcher mango is their namesake, for a number of years, for decades, all they've been adding are, our Hatcher mango trees to it.
Okay. And have you personally, Seth, tasted all of the different varieties of
I have
mango?
tasted copious amounts of all the mangoes here on the property.
Not on the property, but in general. There's a bunch of varieties like by Zill now that are out, the new ones.
I have not.
Okay, not.
I always had such a substantial amount of tree ripe, freshly picked mangoes from here that I'm happy eating my Hatchers, Zills, and Haydens.
Nice.
I have tried other varieties. My neighbor, I live in Riviera Beach. My neighbor has a Kerry mango tree. I know that's a Zill variety. Absolutely fabulous. I love those as well. But I really, really enjoy, a nice tree ripe Hatcher, Zill, and Hayden. And, I'm somewhat, I'm very blessed to be able to have the pick of the litter, so to speak. After test tasting thousands and thousands over the years, I know which ones are going to taste the best. Even the mango will ripen from the seed out, so from the seeds in the middle here. So from here to here will be riper from here to here. The texture will be different. And sometimes I'm a snob about it, and I'll eat only from here to here. Or if it is too ripe, from here in. You also can't dehydrate it from here in to the seed. It's just too ripe. It just dehydrates down to nothing.
So is this your full-time job right now?
I have, it is my full-time job. I also work at night at a restaurant in West Palm Beach, waiting tables. And then I also am a partner in 2 kava bars, one in St. Augustine and Daytona Beach as well. I'm the inventory manager. It's called Green Turtle Kava.
You keep busy. Okay.
Yeah. Well, I say, hustle alaikum.
That's okay.
So now we're entering. So these are all hatchers behind us here.
So those are all the hatchers right there.
These are all hatchers. You know, you see, like this one was one that really got beat up after after 2004. Never really came back all that great. It's been having a tough time. And also you can look up at the leaves. It's not doing so well. But then if you look here, starting with this tree right here are the zills. And so we have a row of the 5 zill trees, starting with this bad boy, and then working our way over. We have another zill right here. And then it goes all the way down to the end. And the one next to the fence, if you kind of zoom up, that's the largest tree in the grove. That's a zill.
Well, let's go see that now. Just because it's the largest doesn't mean it's the oldest. It could just be that it just grows bigger than the other trees.
Yeah, it could just be that that's the sunniest part in the whole grove, and it was the first one on the top and outcompeted all the other trees.
Now we can see here from this picture, these must be at least 25 or 30 feet apart, these trees.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that gives the sunlight enough sunlight. You can see a yellow mango up there because the trees are getting enough sunlight, which is so important. Now I see that the yard or the grove is right on the yard, in the backyard of these other houses.
Yes.
So are these other houses like old-time friends of the hatchers, or?
No, just the development that's sprung up over the years. A lot of people, these people must have had 200 zills in their backyard. The house directly there. I try not to fool with those ones too much because there are power lines right there, and I have had a bad run-in with it one time, and so I just don't let if the people want those ones, and I think legally those are their mangoes, and I have substantial amounts.
Do you have any issues with people coming in off the public streets?
Absolutely, yeah. We have some people will park locally, and they'll get in with 5-gallon buckets, and especially the trees down in the lower 40s where they really hang down to your feet. Some of them touch the ground. Every year we have people come in here and steal. The first day that I drove up to the place, there was a black truck in the driveway and the gate was shut. So I was like, oh man, somebody's already waiting for me to open. And I look over and the guy's running out of the grove with two shopping bags full of green hatchers. And so I go up and take them right out of his hand. And he told me he was the gas station owner right on the corner. And he was essentially stealing our mangoes.
Wow.
He did end up paying me for them, but he took it upon himself that, it was okay to just help himself.
Well, since we're in such a busy area, how have you had any issues with raccoons or squirrels or things like that here?
Oh, we absolutely. We have squirrels galore. I lose 50 to 100 a day to the animals. So we have squirrels. We may see the resident iguana here. I believe at least one, if not 2. He kind of lives. I've been seeing him over here in these really substantial trees. We also have the Cuban iguanas, the ones that actually bite you, the tinier, smaller ones. Those guys are around. They eat a bunch. The squirrels really do a number because they'll come and just take a few bites, and it makes the mango get riper quicker. And so I'll be down on the ground, looking up and like, oh, that's a ripe hatcher. And so the bite is on this side and I'm on this side and I'm up there and picking it. And as I'm bringing it down, the basket will turn and I'll see that, oh man, it's non-symmetrical. That one was bitten.
Yeah.
And so we lose a substantial amount. You know, it is what it is. I'm not a trapper. Everybody eats here. You know, they do their thing. Even you know, birds come in, and we also have issues with flies as well. They, you know, do a number on the mangoes, but we have so many trees. They're so old that you know, it doesn't really affect us.
Wow, wow! This is just such a beautiful property. Now, over there where there's more sunlight, it looks like there could have been room for a couple more trees. Did they leave that area open for a reason, or did they just, you have no idea why?
I have no idea why. It was the family that lives here. They planted these extra, you know, these extra trees, you know, a number of years ago, long before I ever was associated with it. But down here, this is where the fungus has really gotten the trees. I just want to show you something here. This is another old part of the grove. These lines, 3 lines of trees here are all Haydens. Beautiful, you know, beautiful Hayden trees. Some of them, you know, like the one to your right, totally got taken out after 2004. You know, it's trying to do its thing. But the Hayden trees that look like this, and this one behind us over here, it would produce just a handful, and they don't really taste good. There's not a lot of white spots on them. They'll be a lot more fibrous than the other Hayden trees that have a substantial canopy. I believe it's just more photosynthesis is going on with the bigger trees that have survived and can produce an amazing mango. Whereas these ones, you know, I had a longtime customer ask me last year, what's with the Haydens? And I really didn't have a good answer, but this year I figured it out. It was just that the trees that they're coming from are, you know, some of the trees that, you know, they're coming from were just marginal and just couldn't produce a good mango anymore.
Sure. And you're open here every day or just during the week?
Every day, 12 to 4, unless it's like thunder and lightning out and it's not safe for me to be walking around with a metal pole.
Okay, every day, 12 to 4.
Yep.
Now, of all this property that's on here, did they used to own more and it was sold off at some point, or has this always been just this size?
You know, I don't know. I believe it was always just this size, because you have this little piece of land that's been for sale forever in between the start of our gate and the gas station. It's been for sale since
on that side out there, you mean?
Yeah, just on the other side of the fence here.
Okay.
You can see the grass, it's long. That's not us, and there's a white for sale sign. And then there's the gas station over here, and then we own a little section that goes right up to High Ridge Road.
Oh, you do got a section on High Ridge Road?
Yeah, just a tiny little one.
Wow.
And so these are the trees where we call this area the lower 40s. You know, these mangoes have, you know, been really devastated by the you know, by this fungus. You know, they all produce mangoes that look like this. They don't really taste that great, and so I haven't really been messing with them because, you know, they're just not what a hatcher should be. So that's what's been kind of going on. I used to get some amazing mangoes because down here, you know, it gets the most sunlight, and they're substantial enough where, you know, you get some really big ones, and you know, they would just get so much sun, they'd be like sun ripened, and it would be, you know, some of the best mangoes I'd ever tasted, and it's really unfortunate that it has come in. If you
what
look,
do you think happened to them?
Some kind of fungus, you know, came through. You know, I'm not an arborist. I'm an expert at picking them and selling them, and, you know, telling you which one. Like this one, for example. This is how the mangoes look. Now, you know, people don't like spots on their mangoes at all, let alone, you know, 30 of them, and then all this on top. I'm not exactly sure what it is, but that is not going to be a gourmet mango, what people expect and want. You know, so
well, is it still edible for people that, if you're not selling it, like if you were giving away, would it be edible or something you would?
It would be edible. The flavor on it is, you know, it's just not good.
Interesting. So one time these were the best mangoes on a farm, and now the worst.
Yeah, now they were, I would, you know, they would have so much, they get so much sunshine, they'd be all red, and they'd be huge. and they'd be sun ripened, and I absolutely loved them. And I would get a substantial amount from these trees because they're younger, and so they would produce these big, huge ones, and I would get a ton of them. And this year, I've gotten a handful off of one tree over there that wasn't really affected yet. You can see a lot on the ground over there. Those are just the ones they're not.
So you have all these. This area is open. It looks like they could have planted some trees here. They didn't. So down here, much more sun because there's these open areas.
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah, and they have planted a few hatcher trees. A few years ago. I think 7 years ago, somewhere around there. We'll see one over there. There's 3 down over here, and so they were always adding more trees to the place and kind of up production. And
now, has it stayed in the Hatcher family, the house?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Katie Hatcher lives here, and it's still in the Hatcher family.
This looks like a newer tree in the ground here.
Yeah, no, it totally is.
And what is that, a Hatcher?
Yeah, this is a Hatcher. I haven't seen it fruit yet, but I believe it's a Hatcher. We have, I'll take you over here. There's a number of newer fruit trees.
Do you have any other fruit trees other than mangoes on the property?
We have one Florida avocado tree, but it's just one tree. Has 20 green avocados on it. They're tiny, and I'm a black Mexican avocado lover.
Right.
So I really don't fool with those things too much. But if you look, these are these are newer. These are newer Hatcher trees that they planted. We would get our saplings, our grafts from the zills, and this tree over here actually is a zill. It was supposed to be a Hatcher, but some things got.
Now, a zill variety or a zill tree?
It's a zill tree. It's tiny with the beak. It's a zill.
It's mango.
A Hayden and a Bombay cross. This is where I believe a lot of people get in. There's some holes in the fence over there. This is a perfect example.
Okay, so it's going right behind the gas station here.
Yeah, and
now, is this a mango tree on the gas station?
No, that is not a mango tree.
That's not a mango tree.
No, I believe it's a Java plum, I think.
Okay.
But if you can always tell by the leaves. So if you look.
Yeah, exactly.
You can identify the mango, and we have these.
All right, so right behind the gas station, people can get in, and pretty much with one person here, they got all the mangoes they want. Pretty much they could get. And
yeah, some good Samaritan kicked out there's nothing. They just come down and get these ones. A lot of them are Latin American. They want the green ones. For that savory, lime juice, vinegar, and tahini. The really hard ones.
Wow.
But
what a cute little area. If somebody buys the property, this is a perfect area for a little house, and they got this big yard.
Yeah.
Wow.
And so if you look, there are a few Hatchers left on this tree over here, but these didn't do well this past year. Previously, I would get a good amount from them, but again, these ones are having some fungus issues.
Well, considering these trees haven't been pruned for years, they're not that big. So
what's that?
I guess, they can grow big, but for a tree that's in the ground, not pruned, that's not too big.
No, it's not. And these are newer.
How old would you say that tree is?
Maybe 10 years old. Maybe 15 at most.
That's small for a 15-year-old tree.
Yeah. I remember back in 2014, there were just little saplings, I believe.
So when I came here about 3 or 4 years ago, you were selling the fruit and the tree.
Okay. Yeah.
You were selling the trees.
By the time I came around, they were not doing it anymore.
Well, great. Well, let's go. Well, look how beautiful that is.
Yeah,
wow.
this is, and see what I'm talking about as far as a nice, like, beautiful sun ripened, mango. It gets a lot of sunshine. It gets that beautiful blush on it, and but this is going to be more fibrous than this guy right here.
So they do have fiber.
A very small amount. People ask me all the time, "Are these fiberless?" And I say, "Well, they're almost fiberless. They're not completely."
Okay.
And so,
and you said now they were a cross between what two mangoes?
They're a cross between a Hayden and a Brooks.
Hayden and a Brooks.
Now the Hayden is, the most popular mango in South Florida. Delicious flavor, amazing. Brooks is an Australian mango. It has, a substantial size and a small seed. So what Mr. Hatcher was trying to do is he was trying to get a mango that was going to be really big. You get a substantial amount off it. It was really big with a small seed and it had amazing flavor. And so he really hit the nail on the head with the Hatcher. And we're going to be trying some here shortly.
Now, oh, great! We'll try some. Now, do you know the history at all of how many seedlings he's planted before he picked this one? Do you know any of that history?
How many? So the initial Hatcher tree was at their family house in Lantana prior to them moving here. Okay. And subsequently, the house had been sold and somebody cut it down, unfortunately. And so they've had the family's had the grove here since the 1940s. And so they moved over here from there, and then they just started propagating Hatchers and Haydens and Zills. And
when they cut that original one down, had they already put some grass so they had extra trees?
I believe so, yeah, because so they moved here, and then starting right here, this is the old portion of the grove right here. All these trees from here going up the hill, 6 deep. This is all the old part of it. And so
why do you call when you say 6 deep? Why do you call this lower 40s and 6 deep? Why do you do that?
Well, so the owner of the place, that's just a family name for it. They call it the lower 40s. And I guess if you own a lot of property, it's a thing. Say you have 200 acres. Well, we got the lower 40s over there.
I guess the lower 40% maybe?
Or lower 40 acres.
Okay.
I just said 6 deep just to reference that 6 trees down this is the oldest part of the grove, starting right here, going up. And you can see the trees are the most substantial and oldest here.
Sure. Well, this is wonderful to be on this property, everybody. And I'm going to put the address below. They're right off I-95 and Hypoluxo Road, literally right off there. But last season to come check this place out possibly. So come on, and the address and phone will be below every day between 12 and 4 and pick up some of these. Now, how much do you sell these for per pound?
I sell them for $4 a pound. They're organic, tree-ripe, fresh and local produce. Beautiful Hatcher mangoes. With a thin seed, you'll be able to get a substantial amount off of it. They really are an amazing, amazing mango. There are other groves in the area that are charging $5 a pound or $4 a pound, and even in the supermarket, they're $2.50 or $3 a pound. And as you know, those ones are garbage. Yeah, those are really we charge $4 a pound. I do have some that will have a spot in them, or that I will mark down so they are cheaper than that. There are other options, but if you want a perfectly picked, tree ripe organic Hatcher mango, that's the going rate.
Okay, so as we get to the stand here in the house, I'm just gonna. So there's the house. Do you know what year the house was built?
I believe in the 40s.
In the 40s, and here's the stand here. But I'm gonna swing around here and show you. We're on this hill here, and this hill is part of the ridge. Part of the ridge, that's a road called High Ridge Road, and I did another video about the ridge out here and how good mangoes grow on the ridge. But as you come into property, these are the trees that align the property. And this major road here is Hypoluxo Road. And literally right behind this house is the entrance to I-95. So is this the highest point right now in the whole farm?
Yeah. This is the highest point. I'm not 100% sure, but this is, I believe, the highest natural point in Palm Beach County. I believe, there's some garbage dumps out there that are higher, but
wow.
This is the most natural high point. It's millions of years ago. It's an old sand dune. It's got all the sugar sand. It's the reason they call this area High Ridge. It goes all the way over there. Marilyn Hatcher told me that it used to go all the way this way, but over the years, people have, got it leveled and sold the sand. Sand is a commodity, and so people have done it. One of the reasons I think the Hatcher trees have done so well is that they like the sugar sand. They really do. And so, this place is perfect for it.
Yeah. All right, and there's the stand. So let's see. So you come here and park your car, and then you can buy some mangoes here at the stand. All right, so everybody get on out here. The address is below.
1908 Hypoluxo Road. I'll be here 12 to 4 every day, unless it's like thunder and lightning out. It's really the only reason I would close.
That's for about another 3 more weeks, and then the season's over, right?
Circa. Mother Nature's going to have the last say. It really depends on the weather. We'll see what happens. If it keeps on, if this heat keeps up and it's 100 and feels like 110 during the day, then then a lot it's going to expedite the process.
All right, now I see some of these split.
Yeah, it's just some of these are too high for me to get to. These you were talking about how people nowadays grow their mango trees. Some of these are 50, 60 feet up there, where it's just impossible for me, to get them, and so they do drop. I use those to make jam, freeze, and also those are the ones I'll pick them up and I'll use those as samples.
Wow, great! You have one for us to sample and try?
Yeah, absolutely.
Now?
Yeah, of course. So you got a nice, beautifully blush part. We'll cut right into that bad boy. Take it off. Now, do you want some, I did bring some limes. Now, Hatcher mango and fresh lime juice were made for each other.
Well, if you have fresh lime juice, great. I'll show you on the camera. Look at the color there, everybody. You see it dripping. I'll try it with lime juice and without lime juice and see how it is. First, I'll try it without lime juice and see. I had one of these. It's been a little while. Matter of fact, I'll see if I can pull up that old video of last time I was here. It's a little bit different. There wasn't one guy running it. There was like the family running it, I believe, or at least some volunteers. They were selling trees. I'll look back in my archives. If I can find that, I'll post it here. If not, just got back from the mango farm. I never even heard of this mango before, but apparently it's very popular and it can only be gotten from anywhere in the world here in South Florida. So we're gonna taste it. Now I'm fasting today. I'm not eating.
Okay.
So could you tell us about Hatcher mangoes? They're not popular, right?
They're very rare. You can only get a Hatcher here, or if you buy a tree and take it home. Hatchers were developed in the 1940s by John Hatcher, and he grafted thousands of trees, thousands of different combinations until he figured out how to make a really big mango that was very low, not fibrous and not turpentine. And this is what he came up with. And this whole grove is full of Hatcher mangoes. There's a few Hayden and Zill trees, but mostly it's Hatchers. They're the seed inside a Hatcher. Excuse me, just a second. The seed inside a Hatcher is the same size seed as inside this mango here. So you can tell you'd be getting a lot more mango for the money.
Wow.
So when you cut it, you just cut it like a normal mango. You start making an incision here and cut, and then do the same thing on the opposite side, and it's like, I don't know, what, 4 times more mango?
And you're the only place here in the world that sells this particular variety of mango.
And it's on the slow food arc of taste, which means that the slow food movement believes that this mango is one of the best mangoes in the entire world, and this should be preserved. If anything happens to this farm, they believe that this mango should be preserved.
And there are some trees behind you right there.
Yeah, the trees vary in price from about $150 to almost $300, and because they have to be specially grafted. They are.
Do you have a website?
Hatcher Mango Hill.
And can they order through the mail, people?
Nope.
Okay.
It's just
Hatcher
demand outstrip supply.
Okay.
People come from Port St. Lucie, from St. Petersburg. People actually, people come a long way just to I know you're not eating, but yeah.
Wow. That's all right. Here we go. Delicious.
Huh?
Delicious.
Yeah.
Very juicy. A little bit of fiber, but
Yeah, they're not completely
really nice.
fiberless, but
Really nice.
you know, and that it's you know, it's really getting to the late season portion. They are simply fantastic.
here?
Yeah, that's fine. Just right on the side is good.
All right, Hatcher Mango's a winner, everybody. We'll try with a lime now.
Yeah, let's keep a good thing going. And I even have a treat for you.
Okay. Just a beautiful looking.
Oh yeah, it's I think humans evolutionarily they are attracted to red fruit. The ones that weren't, their gene pool died off. And let me just give me 1 second here.
All right, everybody. So I remember last time I was here, I was just getting into learning about mangoes, and I was really impressed with the size. Now at $4 a pound, and one mango being almost a pound and a half, so you're looking at like $6 for one mango. People pay that much with no problem?
Yeah, I mean a lot of people drive up and drive away. You know, 1 out of every 10, I'd say. You know, it is what it is. You know, I know, another Cecil's charging $4 a pound, if not higher. I know another mango farm locally is charging $5.
Yeah, most of them charge around $5.
Yeah, and you know,
but I know these are a specialty and definitely worth it, everybody.
Yeah, these
it might sound high, but when you think about how much per pound for food people pay, I mean, this is definitely.
Well, it's also tree right, fresh and local. It's organic. You know, you're not going to have anything, you know, unless you know somebody with a mango tree. But these are specific to this. They are exclusive, you know, to this grove here, and.
All right, so we're gonna try it with the lime. I actually haven't had a mango with a lime yet, any mango, so that's pretty cool.
Hatcher mangoes and fresh lime juice are made for each other.
Wow.
Huh?
Wow. I wonder if the lime's gonna bring out the flavor in other mangoes, but in this mango, wow. I know in India they put like a lot of cayenne pepper and other spices on mangoes to bring out the flavor. The lime on this Hatcher mango, wow.
Yeah, they, you know, initially what I was thinking was, you know, like to do a salsa. And so I would do, you know, just Hatcher mango, lime juice, some red onion, cilantro, mix it all up, nice tortilla chip, and, you know, have a nice salsa. If you're feeling really dangerous, add some avocado to it and kind of make like a mango salsa guac. And, you know, so subsequently, I just, you know, I couldn't stop eating with the fresh lime juice. It really is my favorite way to eat it. Now, Paul, watching one of your videos, I did see that you were looking up and you had mentioned the place in Davie you'd visited. And you said, you know, you looked up at his varieties he had and it said, you know, the Zill, and you pointed out and you're like, he's got some good ones. So I take it you're a fan of the Zill mango?
I like all mangoes pretty much. Okay. Well, I can't say that. I like all mangoes, but Zill mango's nice.
All right. Well, I have a treat for you. We have just a few left on the trees, and so I've saved the last 3 for you.
Oh, well, thank you.
Yeah, we have some beautiful, beautiful Zill mangoes. Look at it, you know, there's a ton of sunshine. See all that beautiful red on it. You know, it's really, Zill is a half Hayden and half Bombay mango. They, you know, it's very indicative of the Hayden variety, and you know, they are so fragrant. I absolutely love the smell of the Zills.
Beautiful, beautiful. You come on, let's try it.
All right,
and just so everyone knows, Seth is not that much taller than me. He's on a high ground here. I'm on a low ground. There we go. Yeah, right. So it looks like he's a giant. And
so, you know you got something good when you cut into it and it starts leaking.
Yeah.
You know, you got to watch out.
All right, everybody, that was Hatcher Farms, and I'm going to put the address and the link below. What a great place, and I'm going to miss that place. So I really hope somebody decides to get that property and continue doing the mango grove. Or maybe you want to get it. If you want me to come out to a nursery that you know or to your house to film for this channel, let me know. Please subscribe, and thank you for watching. And thank you to Hatcher Farm for all the great mangoes you provided over the years and the great information. And thank you all for watching. Have a great day. Keep growing.